So the housing market just keeps on getting worse for the buyers. And it's crazy to think, because you think that after so many years of the sellers just getting the upper hand, it may be time to give some love to the buyers. But we're gonna get into that and a little bit more. But my name is George Rodriguez with eXp Realty. I'm a realtor here in the state of Washington. So hey, if you don't be shy, contact me if you're buying or selling. Anyways, let's move on to it. Now, if you decide to actually purchase a property within the last couple years, even just then on before, if you just happen to buy or refinance between 2020 to 2022, your interest rate is going to be beneath 4%. And it is a beautiful thing. But with these beautiful interest rates, those homeowners became accidental landlords.
I'm not going out like that. And I'm going to need the money by Monday.
Now, how does that work? How do you accidentally bump into becoming a landlord? It's very easy to explain. When you're taking a look at your active mortgage payment currently, if you're currently paying a mortgage, if you're going on to the rental market, you're easily going to have a nice passive income for yourself or your family for honestly the rest of your life. Or if you decide to sell the property, of course, you're going to have that thing that everyone has, the beautiful thing of equity. With these accidental landlords, those individuals or families, they're not going to sell that property. And you're never going to have that perfect harmony of low prices and low interest rates. It doesn't exist, okay? Just think about that as a teeter-totter. You can have one or the other. Just choose. And it's never going to be flat, because no matter what, there's always going to be people coming to play. There's always going to be people coming to buy and people coming to sell.
Thank you for your vote of confidence, and welcome to the Investor Center.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Now, understanding the law of supply and demand is going to get you extremely far in life. And good reason being, because when you take a look at the law of supply and demand, it's currently what's happening here in the real estate market. And it's a beautiful but ugly thing. And the reason why I'm saying beautiful is because if you're a seller in this marketplace, you love it because you control the narrative. It's like social media. Okay, let's not get into the narrative thing. It's a beautiful thing. But for the buyers, it's an unfortunate thing, because with these accidental landlords, it's doing one thing for them. It's gatekeeping the properties from active individuals that want to buy. The marketplace is becoming flooded with a lot more buyers, because now that the interest rates are coming back into a manageable, acceptance, because you're probably never ever going to have 2 to 3% interest rates on a mortgage again. Well, on a 30-year mortgage. For example, one of my properties is at a 2.25 on a 30-year mortgage. Safe to say, I'm probably never going to sell it, because when you have these properties, in a sense, from the sellers are gatekeeping, there's 20% less properties on the spring marketplace just from last year, according to Realtor.com. Now, I can't speak for the entirety of America, but I can speak for Washington State. Properties, they're not sitting for these 30, 40, 50 days. If you're in a marketplace that properties are sitting for that long, honestly, you have no competition, and it's going to be a fun thing for you, because if you want it, you can have it. But here, you're going to have to pay again. And I know a lot of individuals, it sucks for the buyers that want to purchase a home, but here in the state of Washington, it is extremely competitive, meaning that if you want to buy a property right now, and it's a nice property, and we all know the nice ones. We're on Zillow, we're on Redfin, Trulia, wherever you're deciding to look. If you see a nice property and you think it's nice, trust me, your competition thinks it's nice too, because there's not enough on the marketplace. Now, for example, when it's coming to what our current landscape here in the state of Washington, individuals are having to go over asking. Not 5, not 10, but back to $20,000 or more over asking just to win these properties. And that's for the markets of, what we have to deal with currently. Just a week ago, I had a client put $20,000 over asking and lost, because someone else put $30,000 over asking and waived inspection. If you want to waive your contingencies, by all means, be my guest. But what this comes a lot of uncertainty, and no one knows where the real estate market's going to go, because when I happened to buy my first property in 2018, I was told I was dumb, the market's crashing. I bought it again in 2020, I was told I was dumb, market's crashing. You can't always listen to what people are telling you, but you can listen to what you're telling yourself, because everybody else doesn't pay your bills. You pay them. And if you think it's a good choice to actually purchase a property, then you may have to go and do that, because it's going to fit yourself. Now, from September on, I would say, the properties have basically dropped tremendously within value, just 2022 to now. But a lot of these prices were inflated because everyone is going just disgustingly over asking to secure properties. Well, I don't blame them, because it was like a 2.5, 2%. Some people got, if you did a 15-year mortgage, you're in the 1% for interest rate. Insane. But with those grossly overpriced properties, they've actually come down to relative, like, just normalcy that, we're just currently dealing with what it is now. I mean, of course, when you take a look at inflation is a very big topic in which we are all facing, but inflation overall is going to occur because money was printed on the infinite money printer. So with new money coming into the landscape, your dollar's worth less, but assets are worth more than they used to. Do you imagine buying a car right now? What kind of car we had growing up is paying $20,000. I remember we bought a $30,000 car when we were growing up back in like the 2010s. You were balling. But now, I mean, you got trucks flying off the Richters for like $125,000, $100,000 for a new truck. Insane. But that's what happens, not calling vehicles an asset. But when it comes to properties have increased with the cost of the dollar as well. So meaning that when you want to buy something and there's more circulating cash here in America, then obviously it's going to take more of that cash to purchase an actual asset. Now, we can all decide and want these prices to go down, but just as we come full circle talking about the teeter-totter, you're never going to have low prices and low interest rates. And that's just what the relative normalcy is. Taking a look at what we have for rates for the last 30 years, just to put it into a good perspective, taking a look at 30 years overall and what the mortgage rates were. Of course, let's talk about the 80s and 90s. Yes, they paid nothing for their homes. Okay, we get that. I know someone's going to say that, but they paid nothing, but their rates were higher. All right? But as we take a look overall, even when we had the last market crash from 2008 to 2012, their rates were relatively where we are currently paying. In terms of the last 30 to 40 years, we are under where our ancestors, or moms and pops and grandpappies, grandmamas, were paying. So in terms of looking at the Richter scale of, I love the word Richter. In terms of looking at the scale of FOMO, if you want to take a look at what they were paying just last year in 2021 and those interest rates during the pandemic, that's honestly never going to happen again. And it's just like crypto. You missed the train, but the train is still taking passengers. So if you want to continue forward, this may be a good time. Or you can listen to those that tell you to wait and then telling you to wait even longer. I want you to ask yourself a question, and this is just for, a good purpose. The individuals that are telling you to wait to buy, right? Are they a homeowner? Do they own a home? If they're renting and they're telling you to wait, well, I don't think that's the individual you should probably listen to. If they own a home and telling you to wait, I think that, it may be a little opposite in thinking, but, you may want to listen to some people. But you can choose who you want to listen to, but honestly, take a good look at yourself in the mirror and understand, is it best for me to wait to buy a home? If it is, then wait, man, no one cares. If you are ready and only you can decide when you're ready, it may be a good choice, because no matter what, whenever you purchase a home, it doesn't matter when you purchase it, it's going to suck. Whoa. You said suck? Yeah, it's going to suck because it's going to be expensive whenever you buy, because whenever you purchase, the seller is taking all of the equity. So you're starting from ground zero. But the beautiful thing is that you're not buying it for its current present state. You're buying it to one, secure where you're going to be living. And then in future, when you're ready to upgrade and move forward, more than likely your asset is going to increase in value in terms of where you want to be in life. And of course, the dollar value is going to continue to shrink. And when the value of that continues to shrink, your asset just happens to grow. It's a beautiful thing. So the home ownership is going to be a very tough thing for a lot of people to go ahead and accept and swallow. Of course, when it does come to looking at how the overall market landscape is across the United States, it is very different. But of course, where you live is currently where you're going to have to research and understand. When it comes to the Washington State real estate, it's not a bad thing. Washington State real estate is very competitive, but of course there's a lot of money to be made within this state. So if you are looking to go ahead and purchase, make sure you do your due diligence and you do your market research. But of course, strive to have those smart individuals, a good lender, a good agent to go ahead and take care of you, to press you forward in a good direction. Good agents and good lenders will tell you their best and honest opinion, and they will not push you to a direction that you do not want to go. So without that, you always know what to do. You take care.